Right, so this is the CAT, day 1 from 2015. We're up to question 3. You can pause, have a read and try the question yourself. Jake thinks of a number, adds 5, multiplies that result by 4, gets an answer of 24. Find the number Jake was thinking of. So we need to show an equation that we're going to solve, just to show some algebra. And there's lots of different ways to do this. You could have actually divided by 4 originally too. If we just follow the standard way, subtracting 20 from both sides and dividing by 4, x equals 1. So he was thinking of 1, and you can check. 1 plus 5 is 6, 6 4s are 24. Right, talks about a rectangular garden. You can pause and have a go yourself. It's n metres wide. Its length is 2 metres longer than the width, so that would be n plus 2. Find a formula for the area of the garden. So area of a rectangle is length times width. So the area would be n times n plus 2. And we'll just show off a bit of simplifying on that, n squared plus 2n. So we've showed some algebra skills there. And that would be in metres, although they may not require that. Metres squared for area. Right, part C. You can pause and have a read. Basically we're solving this equation. Now I don't know about you, but actually I think I'll put the 5r cubed on the left hand side, because I'm used to prefer to solve equations with my unknown on the left hand side. This is multiplying in here, so if we divide both sides by 5 first, some long division, no calculators, so we need to by hand. 5's into 32, 5's into 30 goes 6, 5's are 30, remainder 2, and 5's into 20 go 4. And now you need to have a bit of guess and check. So we want a number that when we times it by itself 3 times, the answer is 64. Now I would have a go at 3, but actually 3 times 3 is 9 times 3 is 27, so that's not right. We could try 4. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 4, you could have a go at that. The answer is actually 64, so r equals 4. You might want to just check the negative. It's always good with an equation with an exponent in it to check whether negative 4 would work, but clearly that would give me an answer of negative 64, which is not what I want, but it's worth checking the positive and the negative. Right, let's have a go at part D. Once again, you can pause and have a go yourself. Marie says she does 3 hours study on each of 4 days during the week. Sarah studies for 2/3 of that time during the week and at least a further 2 hours on the weekend. And Sarah's claim is that she always does more than Marie, so that's the claim we're going to check. So I can see that Marie does 3 times 4 is 12 hours per week. As Sarah says, she studies for 2/3 of that time. So we could start by finding 2/3 of 12. Well, 1/3 of 12, 3's into 12 go 4, so 1/3 is 4. So 2/3, 2 times 4 would be 8 hours. So that's for Sarah, and she does at least a further 2 hours on the weekend. Plus at least 2 more. Now we need to get some algebra here. So we are testing whether S is greater than M. So it's just about showing some inequalities. So two-thirds of Marie plus, in this case, at least 2. And we want to know whether that is always going to be greater than or equal to 12, because 12 hours is what Marie does. So as we've said, this was 8. Two-thirds of 12 is 8, plus at least 2. So you can see that if Sarah does exactly 2 hours, then Marie does 12, Sarah would do 8 plus 2 is 10, and Sarah would be less, because 10 is less than 12, so Sarah would do less. We're going to run out of room here. If S does more than 4, let's think about that. So M does 12, 8 plus, now if she does exactly 4, that would be 12 and they'd be equal. But if she does more than 4, we'll call it 4 plus, then that would be bigger than 12. So if Sarah does more than 4, then yes, she does more study than M-I-R-E-E. So anywhere less than 4 hours, if Sarah does, I want to say less than 4 hours, then the claim is false. If Sarah did exactly 4 hours, then they would study the same. And we've clearly written the other option over there. Alright, so not enough space there, tricky question. Part E. You can pause and have a go. Once again, S&M. Marius earns $14 an hour. Sammy earns $4 an hour more than that, so $18 an hour. Marius works twice as long as Sammy, so if Sammy works X hours, Marius will work 2x hours, twice as long. Together they earn a total of $138. So to get that, X hours at $18 plus 2x hours at $14 comes to a total of $138. So a bit of algebra on this. 14 times 2 is 28. 18 plus 28. And now I need to 138 divided by 46. There's a little bit of numeracy we're testing here as well. It doesn't take long to add up a few 46s together. That's 2 of them. If we add on another 46, we get to exactly 138, so x equals 3 hours for Sammy. But we better go back and check the question. It actually says how much does Sammy earn. So Sammy would earn 3 times $18. You can take your time and work that out. The answer is $54. Right, one question to go. Quite complicated. You can pause and have a read. We need some pictures. We've got a cylinder, in a cone. A cylinder has the same radius, so we'll try and make that radius look the same. If the volume of the cylinder is twice that of the cone, give an expression for the ratio of the height. So we'll call this one capital H for the height of the cylinder, and this will be little h for the height of the cone. So the volume of the cylinder is 2 times the volume of the cone. Give an expression for the ratio of the height of the cylinder to the height of the cone. We've got some formulas up here. Remember, they have the same radius. So if we start with the volume of the cylinder, we would get pi r squared. Now for the height I'm using capital H, and that equals 2 times, let's work out the volume of the cone, which is given as pi over 3 times r squared times, and we're using little h for the height. Okay, so where we go from here, I would have a go at multiplying by 3 both sides, just so we can get rid of that fraction there for a start. The 3 will cancel because it's all multiplied together. That's the same as 3 over 1. There's some cancelling there. Right, the other thing we could do is divide by pi and r squared, actually, both of them. Cancelling, what you do to one side you do to the other, and r is not 0, obviously, because you can't divide by 0, but the radius can't be 0, we don't have shapes. So I've got 3h equals 2 times little h. So 3 times the height of the large cylinder is the same as twice the height of the cone. Or if we divide both sides, it doesn't matter which way around, by 2, I can see that the height of the cone is 3 over 2 times the height of the cylinder, or 1.5 times. So if we're going to write a ratio of the height of the cylinder to the cone height, I can see that if the height of the cylinder is 1, the cone height would be 1.5, or 3 over 2. It's 1.5 times taller. You pause and have a think about that. There are other ways we could write it as well. So multiplying each side of the ratio by 2, we could write the ratio as 2 to 3.